My name is Cedric Stevenson, and this is the Decisive Dad. Decisive Dad is where we take psychology and God's word, and we use both of them to establish points of building for each member of the family. Us as parents, we have to understand that there's certain developmental stages that our children must reach. Everybody has to reach these stages. Everybody was once a baby. Everybody was once an infant. Everybody was once some avenue of a child. What happened in those stages? It is totally up to, the life that you had to live, and it is up to the way that God has positioned and shaped your life in order for you to be led back to Him or to Him, depending on the circumstances, whether you was raised up knowing Him or you was raised up knowing of Him but never had a relationship. God set things up in place for you to come directly back to Him. Psychology is usually used to show where our neurological, our habits and patterns are formed. Understanding that we have to grow with our children is a big must. Why is that? Because if we stay in the same place, that makes our children stagnant as well. But if the child is growing consistently, consecutively, continuously, like they ought to, well, we are to not, in a sense, chase them, but have a prepared readiness to be able to help and aid in that development for them. Now, are they the meaning of our lives? No, by no means. God is, and God only is. But the standard of the family construct is God, the father, the mother, then the children. Now, the family needs the father and the mother to develop the God-given plan and fulfill it. This takes great patience, dependency on God, and also communication. A knowing and understanding how you receive a certain dialogue and how your spouse, your wife, your husband receive your certain dialogue is pivotal, because you need to understand how they receive dialogue as well. This also falls into the aspect of shaping, informing, and almost not contorting, but like the scripture says, twining to one another. This is how the development of expectation for marriage is set, through kind of a pass and fail type of strategy. Try this. Does this work? Does that work? This doesn't work for me. Okay, well, let me tweak this a little bit. It's putting things into practice in the rotation to figure out how to coexist isn't really the best word, but to develop the family. Let's just say it like that. Because the children are always watching how mom and dad are doing things? How communicative are you? How open are you? How emotional are you? How decisive are you? Are you indecisive? If so, these things need to be worked on. If you're not really decisive, you can also end up with a spouse that is more decisive than you. This is due to your comfort in who they are. They're more so ready to make choices on the fly. It can kind of put you in an unstable place from time to time, but the reliance on that person helps you become more decisive. I'm taking the wheel for backseat, but more so in the aspect of you can depend on that person. You know, the problem with being so decisive is needing someone who pays attention to the details fully, where you can make a better decision, a more sound decision for the family. Like myself, I am a decisive person. My wife, she's decisive as well, but she's more detail oriented. We both need each other. And I've expressed this to her many times, where it was only God that had matched us together. Because I myself, I'm usually, if I can do something, there's certain things that I'm not really aware of that need to be understood. Because I'm so like, hey, that's something that we could do, let's do it. Whereas she is, well, if we do that, then what is the drawback? Usually I think of pros and cons on the fly, where she is of the chewing the cud type. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. I need her. Me and her have become one flesh. There's value based off of who God puts in our life, because he created it, right? And us and our family, we each and every one of us has value in this family, because God put this family together. He gave us the children to be stewards over. He gave us the things to maintain and provide for. But just like the children need us, we need them. Because if we don't have them, then more times than not, we'll end up doing what we want. And sometimes doing what you want ain't the best, especially as an adult, because there's a lot more on the line as an adult than it is for a child. Mainly financially. But my children, I watch them just as much as they watch me. I watch my wife just as much as she watched me. And we have this centralized understanding that we can't make an assumption about each other's character because we don't know what that person is thinking, right? This is one of the things that irritates me, is when a person assumes that they know who we are. And this is not just myself, this is everybody. Is you've seen these few details, these few habits, and then you shape your construct mentally of who this person is, and you don't even know who they are. So rather than assume, we watch, we ask questions, and we want the truth from those questions, from our children, how they feel, what they think. Truthfully, we're raising what I like to call free thinkers. It is imperative for children to be free thinkers. Why? Because once they get older, they're going to be in our position. They need to be able to critically think about how to solve things, how to talk to people, and how to diffuse situations, how to understand that they're not always right, how to be able to engage with a person and understand that y'all might not see eye to eye. Deal with things factually, not emotionally. Now, there's some times where things are called for us to deal with things emotionally, but usually when it comes to, let's just say, law, emotion is not going to help you with the law. It doesn't even help us with God's word. It is what is said in God's word that helps us, not how we feel about God's word. God didn't say, hey, depending on how you feel, I want obedience. No, he says he wants obedience. He desires obedience from his creation, his children. It's not about how you feel. I tell people from time to time that, are we overheating again? I tell people from time to time that the reason why I fell in love with God was the law of God.